Most people wouldn't connect aerial acts and circus with grief, but we're showing you how the two actually go hand in hand.
7, squeeze your legs together. Yeah, good.
High up in the air, their focus locked on that trapeze.
It's a bunch of people doing things that they didn't think they could do.
People of all ages.
All right, we're going up 2?
Yep. Leg, hands.
Who never thought they'd fly.
Yeah.
Seamlessly soaring.
It feels really good to be flying today.
Fingertips.
For Sherry Walling, this has become a part of her weekly routine.
My name is Dr. Sherry Walling. I'm a clinical psychologist and an author and an amateur circus artist. I giggle a little bit when I introduce myself because it's an unexpected place that I find myself in my life.
That's because out of all things, grief led her to the circus.
In the past 5 years or so, I personally have experienced really significant loss. So I lost my dad to cancer and my brother to suicide. And we had a little girl in our family for 4 years who we thought would be part of our forever family, who went back to live with her birth mother.
She's a clinical psychologist by trade, trained to help people adjust their thoughts and feelings.
The moment you get the phone call, the moment the cars collide, whatever the story is, the body's memory of those moments is really powerful, and it's really hard to access it just talking about it.
Her own personal experience proved how integral the body is to mental health and well-being.
When your body experiences a significant shock or trauma or emotional reaction, it clenches and it holds. And so there's a lot of big body movement in circus that is sort of the opposite of that.
Ready. Hop.
I don't have the bandwidth to think about grief, to be in pain, or to be distracted by anything else. I'm just thinking about what's happening in that very moment. For someone who's in turmoil or grief or trauma, that's a huge gift.
She learned how to find happiness in her worst of times by simultaneously working through the pain.
Living in sadness, illness, death, grief, and also living in joy, creativity, playfulness, friendship.
Perfectly timed.
The realization has led to helping others and starting Circus for the Brokenhearted.
I will never forget the call that kind of anchored grief in my body. All of a sudden, my dad calls and he's like, "It's bad, it's bad." I'm like, "What do you mean it's bad?" And he's like, "He's dead." I'm like, "What?"
So find a comfortable spot to sit, maybe sit up tall.
Grief isn't a linear process.
We want to treat our hurts as precious, not be careless with them.
It's why Kim Witzak is partaking in this workshop 2 decades after her husband's suicide.
As somebody who's been in this now for 20 years, and you can still have other relationships, you can have all of that, but things will bring you back, and it ebbs and it flows, and it is a lifelong process.
Using new muscles in her body and shifting her mental focus has allowed 20 years of trauma to start healing in new ways.
But when you're doing something physical, you're moving it, you're seeing it, and you realize that life really is all of that. Life is grief, life is happiness, it's sad, it's joy, it's all of it.
We don't really have a gym for our brains or for our emotional life, but circus has sort of become that for me.
Whether it's circus, dance, yoga, or even pottery or painting, Sherry reminds us to open up your mind and body to unlock new ways of processing grief.
The best thing that I have to offer is in my own self, the very lived reality of holding both grief and joy in the same place.
Jesse Cohen, Scripps News, Minneapolis.